mistake.
The members have put the question that clause 10. Yes, Honorable Hillary.
Thank you very much, Chair. On clause 10, under compensation, rehabilitation, or restitution to be made by court in certain cases, I propose we say we insert competent court, because we also have local courts, LC1 courts and so on. So we should put the word competent court.
How's the court been defined in the interpretation section?
Madam Chair, it is not defined, but the committee looked at in the fact that most of the offenses under this act, the punishments are prescribed. And the punishment to a given offense determines which court has jurisdiction over it, either Chief Magistrate Court or a High Court. Yes, move on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank honorable colleague for raising this concern, but this is a criminal offense, and therefore, Madam Chair, I think in our country, criminal cases are only tried before well-established courts that do not need any further definition. So this is a criminal offense, and therefore my colleagues' fears should be addressed. Thank you.
Members have put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Let's have it.
Clause 10 as amended.
Question is clause 10 as amended. Do stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Clause
11.
Honorable Chair.
Clause 11, duty to report acts of human sacrifice. For clause 11, there is substituted the following: duty to report acts of human sacrifice. Subclause 1, a person who knows or has reasonable belief that any person has committed or intends to commit an offense under this act shall report the matter to a person in authority. A person who makes a report referred to in subclause 1 shall be afforded protection under the Whistleblowers Protection Act 2020. A person who A, does not comply with subclause 1, B, prevents, prohibits, dissuades, or hinders any person from making a report under this section, or C, victimizes a person who makes a report under subclause 1, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 72 currency points or imprisonment for 5 years, or to both fine and imprisonment. Subclause 4, in this section, a person in authority includes a member of the village local council, a member of a local government council, a resident district commissioner, a social welfare officer, or a police officer, a member of the Uganda Prison Services, a member of the Uganda People's, there is a repetition here of the Uganda, we cross of Uganda, the last of Uganda, People's Defense Force, or a member of any other law enforcement agency established by an act of parliament. Justification: to expand the people to whom a report of an offense can be made. Prohibit and punish persons who pervert justice by preventing the reporting of offenses or by victimizing persons who report offences under the Act.
Honourable members, put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Clause
Is-
11 as amended.
Put the question that clause 11 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no. Honourable Chair, new clause.
Insertion of a new clause immediately after clause 11. Immediately after clause 11, insert the following new clauses. Extraterritorial jurisdiction. This act shall apply to offences under this act committed outside Uganda, where A, the person against whom the offence is committed is a citizen of Uganda or is ordinarily resident in Uganda, or the perpetrator of the offence is a citizen of or resident in Uganda. Inspection of places where human sacrifice is likely to take place. 1. A person authorized by the minister may, after giving reasonable notice, inspect any house, building, or any place in which he or she has reasonable belief that an offense under this act is taking place or is likely to take place. 2. A person who carries out an inspection under subsection 1 shall prepare a report of the inspection. 3. Where the report of the person referred to in subsection 1 indicates that there is need for immediate corrective action, the person shall give a copy of the report to the person or body to take the corrective action, including a member of the village local council, a member of a local government council, a resident district commissioner, a social welfare officer, a police officer, a member of the Uganda Prison Service, a member of the Uganda, again I'll cross out the second of the Uganda People's Defence Force, or a member of any other law enforcement agency established by an act of parliament. Consent of victim of an offence. The consent of the victim to human sacrifice shall not be a defense to a charge under this act. Report on the implementation of this act. The minister shall annually submit to Parliament a report on the implementation of this act. 2. The report referred to in subsection 1 shall contain information on A, the complaint made under the Act, the investigation and prosecution of offences as a result of the complaint and investigation. B, the incidents and occurrence of each of the offence prescribed in the Act. C, the effectiveness of this Act and government policy to deal with incidents of human sacrifice. D, the challenges faced in enforcing the Act. And E, recommendation is on the challenges faced in implementing the Act. Amendment of Act number 7 of 2009. The Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009 is amended by substituting for section 2, subsection paragraph G, the following. G, human sacrifice means the killing, mutilation, removal of a body organ, body part, or human tissue of a person, or the drawing of blood from a person for sale or purposes of performing or furthering witchcraft, a ritual, or for any other unlawful purpose. In section 3, by inserting immediately subsection 1, the following. Subsection 1A. Notwithstanding subsection 1A, where the person convicted of the offense of trafficking in person exploited the victim of the offense by carrying out human sacrifice, the convicted person shall, instead of the punishment prescribed in the subsection 1, be liable to suffer death if, Roman 1, the convicted person is a parent, guardian, or person having authority or control over the victim of the offense. Or 2, offense of trafficking in persons resulted in the death of the victim. B, imprisonment for life where the offense results in grievous bodily harm to the victim. Or imprisonment for 10 years where the offense results in injury to the victim of the offense. Justification: for completeness, to criminalize persons who commit offenses prohibited under this act outside Uganda, where the victim of the offense or the perpetrator is a citizen of Uganda or ordinarily resident in Uganda. To make certain defenses irrelevant for a charge under this act. To empower the inspection of places where acts prohibited under this act may be performed. To require the minister to submit to Parliament annually reports on the implementation of this act. To harmonize the definition and punishment for the offense of human sacrifice in the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act 2009 with the amendment made to the bill.
Now, members, you have heard the proposals for the new clause. I now put the question. Yes. Honourable Member Onataka.
On inspection, a person authorized by the minister may, after giving reasonable notice, inspect any house, building, or any place in which he or she has reason to believe that an offense under this act is taking place or is likely to take place. I feel a little bit uncomfortable with authorized by the minister, because when such acts are taking place, there are emergencies, and I feel the authority of the minister can delay the inspection such that by the time they reach the place, the evidence has been tampered with. And this authorization, I think we should do away with it, such that the person, maybe a person who has authority, as long as they are with, maybe in company of police, they can inspect immediately. I beg to submit.
Honourable Chair.
Madam Chair, the intention of the committee was that the minister may give by secretary instrument a blanket, authority to give any person is to carry out this obligation.
The notice, like they have to give a notice to the person who is in charge of the premises that they are going to inspect. Yet somebody is committing a crime there, and then you tell them now police is coming, also and so is coming. I think something needs to be corrected here.
But how do you enter somebody's premises without notice?
Thank you, Right Honourable Chair. I want to thank Honourable colleague for raising this concern. At the time we arrived at this position, Madam Chair, we knew how the people who hide under these places operate. We actually did a research, and of course, some people may be uncomfortable if we mention the word shrines. And of course, a shrine applies to all religions, including us, those of us who are Catholics. We have Namugongo Shrine. We have other traditional believers who have shrines. But in those shrines, sometimes, Madam Chair, particularly the traditional ones, is where some of these grievous practices take place. And therefore, we are a bit careful in making these provisions. And when the committee made this submission, we are cognizant of the fact that, of course, you cannot enter somebody's private property without that person being served. And the fact that this notice will be served will mean that the place can be inspected. And the reason for inspection is to collect evidence. And our research indicates the kind of evidences that we will be sourcing for, which have also been provided for in some of the sections in this bill. And therefore, the fear, I don't know, Chair, my position was...
Honorable Taka's worry is that if you give notice, the element of surprise will not be there, and you'll have time to demobilize or move items. That's our worry.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the committee is proposing to delete after giving reasonable notice, since the Criminal Procedure Code Act gives the details and the circumstances under which a search can be conducted. So we would do, the Criminal Procedure Code Act can come to aid in this respect.
Okay, Honourable members, put the question that new clause be introduced as proposed. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Clause 12.
Clause 12, Honourable Chair, you had something? On 12?
Clause 12, regulations. Clause 12 is amended by inserting immediately after subclause 1 the following: the regulation is made under subsection 1 shall be laid in Parliament for information. Justification: to require the laying of regulations in Parliament for information.
Members, I put the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no.
Clause 12 as amended.
Question is that clause 12 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no.
Clause 13.
Put the question that clause 13 do stand part of the bill. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
The schedule.
Put the question that the schedule do stand part of the bill. Those in favour say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Clause 1.
Clause 1, Honourable Chair. I think there are no new interpretation, no new definitions.
Interpretation. Clause 1 is amended by A, substituting for the definition of the phrase human sacrifice the following: human sacrifice means the killing, mutilation, removal of a body organ or body part or human tissue of a person, or the drawing of blood from a person for sale or purposes of performing or furthering witchcraft, a ritual, or for any other unlawful purpose. B, inserting the following new definition is appropriately: imprisonment for life means imprisonment for the natural life of a person. Mutilation means the unlawful and partial or total removal of a body part of a person. Ritual means a religious, traditional, or cultural ceremony consisting of a series of actions performed for satisfying a belief. Witchcraft includes sorcery, enchantment, enchantment, bewitching, the use of instruments of witchcraft, the purported exercise of any occult power, or the purported possession of any occult knowledge. Justification: to expand the definition of the phrase human sacrifice by including the drawing of blood from a person and the removal of human tissues. In definition of the phrase human sacrifice, to remove an ambiguous phrase harmful human practices, which was incapable of exact definition, and replace it with the unlawful purpose. For clarity, to define the words mutilation, life imprisonment, and witchcraft.
Members, put the question that clause 1 be amended as proposed. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Clause 1 as amended.
Question that clause 1 as amended do stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
The title.
Put the question that the title do stand part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
And over Atiku.
Thank you, Right Honourable Chair. I beg to move that the House do resume and the Committee of the Whole House reports thereto.
Now, members, the question is that the House do resume and the Committee of the Whole House do report thereto. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Aye.
A report from the Committee of the Whole House.
Honourable Atiku.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the bill entitled The Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifice Bill 2020 and has passed it with various amendments and deleted clause 8 and inserted a number of new clauses. I beg to move.
Motion for the adoption of the report from the Committee of the Whole House.
Honourable Atiku.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the report of the Committee of the Whole House is adopted.
Now, members, the question is that the report of the Committee of the Whole House be adopted. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
Bills, third reading.
Honourable Atiku.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled The Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifice 2020 is read a third time and do pass.
Now, members, the question is that the bill entitled The Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifice Bill 2020 be read for the third time and do pass. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. Ayes have it.
A bill for an act entitled The Prevention and Prohibition of Human Sacrifice Act 2021.
Title settled and bill passes.
Item.
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Atiku.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me to use this opportunity to thank you for enabling us to fast track the passing of this bill. Madam Speaker, allow me also to use this opportunity to thank honourable colleagues for standing with me in processing this bill, undertaking the various consultations, and compiling the report, and eventually presenting this bill for first reading, and today seeing it being passed. Madam Speaker, you will allow me to appreciate the following people. First and foremost, allow me to thank the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs for delegating an officer from the first Parliamentary Council with whom I've been working on this bill. If you remember very well, when I moved the motion seeking leave, the Prime Minister did promise to support this bill, and indeed he did that by instructing the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs to delegate a competent person in the names of Paul Okrig. Madam Speaker, the judiciary also supported me in this process. We had interaction with the Justice Yaseni Nyanzi, who shared with us his personal experience of facing difficulties in prosecuting cases involving human sacrifice. And it's part of his experience that informed this bill that now will become an act. With other judges, Madam Speaker, who shared their experiences. Madam Speaker, allow me also to thank the Uganda Law Reform Commission and the society who shared with us their expertise and experiences. Madam Speaker, we worked together with Uganda Parliamentary Forum for Children, whose mission, whose motto is children first. Majority of the victims of human sacrifice have been children. And this Parliament today has done the noble duty of passing a law that will protect the future of the human beings in this country. We have worked together with the civil society organizations in the names of World Vision International, Children on the Edge, CHAMPC Child Care Ministries. Madam Speaker, Children on the Edge is an organization that's international, based in the UK, that have followed the press reports of cases of human sacrifice. And today, as we are passing this bill, we have a representative in the name of Anne Ipa, who is right there in the technical bench. She has come to witness the final passing of this bill, and we'd like to thank everybody who has helped in processing this bill, and the Committee of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs for tirelessly working to ensure that today this bill is passed. This is my gift. This is the gift to children of Uganda. This is the gift to everybody who has suffered the pain of human sacrifice in this country. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for God and my country.
Thank you, Honourable Atiku. Does the Chair of Legal wish to say something?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues. I would like to thank the mover of the bill, now enacted into law, Honourable Bernard Atiku, for the effort he put in from the time this bill was referred to our committee. He has been cooperative, and he has provided any information the committee would require of him. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee who dedicated all their time and effort to ensure that this bill is processed. And, Madam Speaker, allow me to thank the whole House for the time it has devoted to this bill and the due debate that he has accorded to our report and eventually enacting the bill into law. This is a gift that Uganda has got because child sacrifice is on the rise, and indeed it needed a law of this nature, aware of the fact that the Constitution is quite arrived at the fact that life shouldn't be taken away just at the whims of those who want to benefit and satisfy their own interests at the expense of the victims and the dependents of those that lose their lives as a result of sacrifice. I thank you. I thank everyone.
Thank you very much, the Chair of Legal and Parliamentary. I think I want to add the thanks of this House to your committee. Between you and the Committee on Finance, I think your committee has borne the biggest burden of bills before this House. So really want to thank you for the work you've done. But more importantly, on a number of occasions, when children's delegations come to visit me at Parliament, many times they have asked me, where is justice for Kasirye? That young boy who was sacrificed in the Katoka Juvi case, as you remember. I think today we can answer that question and say that Parliament has now provided an opportunity, an avenue for justice for Kasirye and other victims like him. So thank you so much, honourable members, for the work you've done. Now I'd like to suspend the House for 1 hour so that we can resume at 3 p.m. House suspended.